One final thing I wanted to discuss today is what I term the state's relationship with our children, and in many cases, the state's interference in our relationship with our own children. Now, if you have been listening to the news, you've probably heard of the various things that are happening in the state of Florida, where the governor has taken on certain interest groups and taken a stand against the sexualization of our children. There are people who have adulterated the idea of tolerance and the idea of compassion and love, and have begun to leverage those principles to the detriment of our children. And this is what I mean. Children, as we know, are very impressionable and are basically at the mercy of the adults they spend their time with. And school, as our society stands today, is a place that our children spend the most of their time. And so it's incumbent upon parents to understand what is going on in those schools and to understand the principles and the values that their children are being taught. And one of the hidden benefits of the pandemic was the fact that a lot of parents, for the first time, had the opportunity to see and hear what their children were being taught in school. And many people were alarmed. And in many cases, when you start talking about this, you get branded in one way or another as someone who is bigoted in some way. However, this has nothing to do with bigotry and everything to do with protecting our children. I have 4 children, and I am very concerned about the ideologies that they bring home. And it almost seems like there's a concerted effort to turn children against their parents. And in many cases, teachers and principals and administrators are making pacts with children to hide certain important information about their lives from their parents under the guise that they are in some danger by revealing that information to parents. And so they're creating this atmosphere that suggests that children basically don't belong to their parents, right? And the parents don't have a right to either know or understand or be privy to everything that is happening in their kids' schools. States like California have even gone further, where they've created a sanctuary for children who believe for one reason or another that their parents are not approving of their gender identity. And so children can basically run away from home, and California is guaranteeing that if they do get to California, they would not be returned to their parents. Now, this kind of interference of the government between the relationship of parents and their children should be alarming to everyone. The question is why? Why is this happening? The people who are against the sexualization of children are not saying that, being trans or being anything else should be banned or outlawed. All we're saying is that impressionable children should be protected from ideologies that introduce things in their mind that they may not have considered before. So the question is, what do we do when the government attempts to interfere in our relationship with our children? What is our recourse? For a lot of people, this has opened their eyes, and many people are taking their kids out of school and homeschooling them. But as you know, not everybody is able to do that. So what do we do? Some people have, run for school board and are beginning to change the policies in their local communities. The bottom line is we cannot sit down and hope that things get better. They are coming for our kids. They are. And there are tons of examples of this happening right before our eyes. Now, I don't know if you follow this account on social media. It's called Libs of TikTok. And what that account basically does is it finds videos of teachers and educators and people who are pushing various ideologies that are detrimental to our children. And all it does is repost their video so that the world will see what they're talking about. And these are not videos that are hacked from their phones or anything like that. These are videos that they themselves have posted online publicly. So these videos are publicly available. And all this account does is repost those videos. And because of that, they've been banned from Twitter multiple times. I believe it was 7 times banned from Twitter until Elon Musk purchased the platform. Even reporters have gone as far as reveal the true identity of the person who was posting on that account. She has been subjected to threats, and all this because she wants to stand up for the sanctity of her children and to protect their innocence. So this is a pressing issue that will not go away. This is an issue that we cannot leave to fate, because once we lose our children and we create this precedent that the government has a right to interfere, not in cases of abuse, but to interfere in parental decision-making about the well-being of their children. Once we set that precedent, it will be impossible to take it back, to take back our rights as parents. This is a fight that is worth fighting. This is a frontier that we cannot allow the government to infringe on. So once again, circling back to the idea of orchestrated reality, especially as it concerns our kids, we have medical associations and scientific organizations once again giving us information that is inaccurate and recommending procedures that have not been tested, for which the long-term effects are not known. I don't understand the motivation. Why are they orchestrating this reality? What is there to gain from it? What is there to gain from making children medically dependent for the rest of their lives? It is really important that we stand with others who are in this fight and to never give up until the government and its entities retreat from this issue. And for those of you who are interested in seeing orchestrated reality in action, I recommend you go see the documentary, What is a Woman?, which was created by the Daily Wire. And that will tell you exactly what is happening with respect to the world we're creating, which is no longer based in scientific and biological fact, but based on the feelings of people who believe that those feelings are sacrosanct somehow and should not be questioned under any circumstances. Last week, I heard that it was screened at the UN by the African delegation, which was very interesting because there has been a concerted effort over the last decade to get Africans to embrace these ideas, and they are rejecting it. And I'm glad for that. And that's all I'm going to say about that.